Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Digimon Ghost Game episodes 12 and 13. Both really strong episodes, with 13 I think being the best the show has done so far. But let's start with episode 12. So this is about a chain letter, a chain email, being sent, and for people that might not know what a chain letter is, because why would you? It was basically an email that people would send, like, send this to 20 people or blah 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 will happen. But, spam filters are so good that people don't see those much anymore. I don't think I've ever actually seen a real one. I've only heard, seen them in things. So anyway, you get a chain letter, ask you to send it, but the trick is people delete them, and when they delete them, a bunch of Weedmon pop out. And when I say a bunch, I mean dozens. Like, a lot of these things are popping out, and this is like the first time we've had like a ton of Digimon just sort of terrorizing people around town. Like, we had Clockmon, that's one Digimon running around. We had oh gosh, what's the bird that sings, going around terrorizing people at karaoke. This is the first time where we've got just like tons of Digimon terrorizing people all over town. Not just like, okay, here's want to mess with this guy like Dracmon does, where he's picking on people one at a time. We've just got hundreds of these things running around, and it's sort of like, again, I'm not a big horror movie guy. I don't really watch horror movies, but I know there are horror movies like this where it's just like, here's a bunch of creatures or like animals that are bloodthirsty going around terrorizing people. Like, there's one that I know of where it's just a bunch of birds attacking people, and I think it might just be called The Birds. And so it's sort of like that, where we've just got tons and tons of these things, and it's like, okay, how do we deal with them? And they're all after basically one thing. They're after water, because if they consume water, they grow, and they get big. So that's basically their goal. There's hundreds of them. There's fear and potential that it could eventually get to hundreds of millions of them. And so our characters just have to go and sort of deal with that and try and figure out a way to deal with them. And we go to, is it Bokomon? We go to Bokomon and sort of ask for his input. And basically his suggestion is, hey, get all these in one area. And the way we do that in the show is we go to one of the fields, right, with the Digivices, to where there's just conveniently only one body of water here to fight them. And that's what happens. They just sort of all gather up. We see Tesla Jellymon again. She gets some time to shine. And then we get a new Gamamon evolution. Wezen Gamamon, where he is a quadruped. He's a Triceratops with big cannons on his head. And he's really cool. He's my favorite of them, I think. Not even I think. I think he's got the best design. And basically, each one of the Gamamon forms sort of have a different niche, I guess, kind of. Battle Gamamon seems to be more like the close combat fighter. He's got like a fireball attack, but he's more like punching, right? Chaos Gamamon is, he has his little gliders so he can get around in the sky. And where Wezen Gamamon seems to be kind of slow, but he's got a lot of firepower. And so the plan for defeating the Weedmons is we discover that if you attack them, they sort of merge. So if they're injured, they merge together to sort of heal themselves, and they grow and grow and grow. And they just keep attacking until there's only a few. And then at the very end, a Weedmon just like pops up and is like, hey, these are my clones. I'm taking them with me. Goodbye. And he seems pretty clearly evil. Like, he talks about how, oh, it's just an accident. I didn't mean for them to go rampaging. But it seems like a lie. I don't know. It seems so obvious that I don't know if he's going to come back in a future episode and we'll have to deal with the Weedmons again. Or if it's just like so blatantly he comes off as evil as and it'll be played off later as he's actually just a cool dude who created these clones because he was lonely, like he said. But yeah, a good episode. We get a lot of again, Digimon interacting with the city. This is a new kind of threat that the protagonists haven't dealt with. It was interesting. We got new Gamamon form. Tesla Jellymon showed up and did some damage. It was good. I think, I don't know, Angoromon and Ruri seem to definitely be like the weak link here. But we'll see. Once they evolve, maybe they'll be a bit more useful. But like, they weren't a problem. It's just they seem to take a back seat a lot. Like, even in the episode they just had, I think it was episode 11, right? Where that was a Angoromon and Ruri episode. They didn't even evolve. But yeah, overall, good episode. Episode 13. This has to be the best episode so far, right? We get a Digimon actually going around killing Digimon. Which, I've got a bit of a complaint about this. And it's, I don't know. This is supposed to be the first time we've seen Digimon get killed, right? Like, actually killed, where the villain of the episode is Sealsdramon, and he just throws a knife at a Digimon, and they turn to data and disappear. Cool. Just a few episodes ago, we had the race episode, where Metal Phantomon is attacking Digimon and absorbing them. And we don't know if they can come out, right? The whole thing is, oh, he attacks you, he absorbs you into his... I forget if it was his scythe, or if it was like the glowing orb in his chest or whatever. But that's effectively death. But we're playing Sealsdramon off as, oh, this is the first time Digimon have died. Which is technically true, but like, I don't know. That's sort of my biggest complaint with this, and it's not even that big of a complaint, because the way they sort of handle how Digimon die, and how the characters react to it, where, like, they're just kids, so seeing actual creatures, like animals, essentially, or maybe more even like people, because they're friends with them, so they probably see them more as people than animals. Like, seeing them die like that is gonna be, like, they're not gonna enjoy that, right? It's going to be traumatizing, and we'll see how that goes later on, like, in the next few episodes, but... So, Sealsdramon is just going off, picking off Digimon. Not even, like, dangerous ones, or anything like that, just any of them. And, like, we see Digimon just, like, hanging out, eating. Like, in the very first one he kills is an Apemon, who is just eating an apple, or an orange, or something. And then later on we see a couple Monodramon just eating some turnips. They're dead. And it feels very... like... If they're definitely going for, like, a sort of serial killer vibe with this guy, and it feels like that, where he's just sort of lurking, and we don't get a reveal of who it is, really, until towards the end, and they make it like he seems threatening, and then when we get towards the end, and he's about to kill Gamamon, and Bokomon jumps in the front of the knife that he threw, and he dies, that's great. Like, I wish... this feels like when we needed to get to this episode, but I also wish we had maybe gotten Bokomon a little bit earlier, because it does feel like Bokomon's introduced, okay, quick, we gotta cram him into every episode so that this moment is impactful, which it was, and it works, and I'm glad that he was, like, Bokomon was around, and we saw him a lot. I just maybe move it back a few weeks, right? A few episodes before. But again, small little sort of nitpicky things that I have with this episode. It's great. And then, so Bokomon dies in front of Gamamon, and then we get the build-up to this evolution is really good, where I don't know what it's called. I don't have a vital bracelet, but you see it in the animation where the little circle wheel thing is filling up, about to digivolve, and then you just see it stop right before, like, undo all its progress, and we get, like, an evil evolution for Gamamon. It's great, and the way it's animated is really cool. And this, they've been building to this, right? Episode 1, we see the shadow of Gulus Gamamon. What is it, episode 9, when Clockmon came back, and we see it again. And we finally get the reveal, and he looks cool. He's not my favorite. I think it's the, like, purple pink. I'm not a huge fan of. I think he looks cool. A bit too much like Betel, in my opinion. But, cool design. And he's not just a, like, Berserk mode evolution, right? Like, you look at Skullgreymon from Adventure, and it's just Tai forces Agumon to evolve, and he just goes on a rampage. He's mindless. He's a mindless destroyer. I don't think there was an evil evolution in 02. What is it? Megidramon? Is that Guilmon's evil mega form? With, like, the acid spit and whatnot? Like, again, mindless rampaging. Sabers did it again with Evil Shine Greymon. He's just evil. He's just going on a rampage. Gulus Gamamon isn't a mindless evil evolution. He is a character, and he's very distinct from Gamamon, and feels more like a separate personality, almost like a repressed personality, right? Like, he knows what's happening, he knows who all the characters are, despite not having actually appeared yet. And it's very, very interesting and different from Digimon stuff that I remember, right? Another little nitpick, the voice is a bit off. I think I gotta get used to it a bit more. But not really a problem. I think his sort of, like, cocky attitude is interesting. Him basically immediately, boom, I've evolved, I'm evil. Well, not even, kind of evil, I don't know. Dark evolution. Like, Sealsdramon has been terrorizing people, they haven't been able to really find him. Evolve, he knows exactly where he is, catches him. 2 seconds, that's it. He basically demands, why are you doing this? Because we learned earlier in the episode that Sealsdramon is basically an assassin who worked hard to evolve into this form and then is sent out to kill. And we learned that, no, he's just killing for fun. He's just trying to rack up a body count. And then Gulus Gamamon just kills him. I think this is, like, again, this is the first time we're really dealing with Digimons dying in the show, and immediately we have the main character's Digimon just murder this guy. It's really good. Then we have a brief fight between Gulus Gamamon, Tesla Jellymon, and Goromon. Gulus basically wipes the floor with them and is trying to, like, escape the fields that their Digivices create. He just blows a hole in it and is getting ready to leave. Eventually he sort of, like, collapses, de-digivolves, Gamamon's back, and sort of Gamamon breaks down after seeing Bokomon die, and it's really, really good. Another thing, right before Gulus Gamamon kills Sealsdramon, we've been doing this in the show where, like, when a special attack comes, like, the heroes just sort of, like, see it in their head. We get that with Hero, and he basically rejects it, right? He gets the name attack in his head, and he's fighting it, which is interesting, but also makes me question what the purpose of it is, because immediately Gulus Gamamon says, like, you're worthless, and he just uses an attack anyway, like a named attack. So I'm wondering if, like, what is the purpose of that if the Digimon can then just attack anyway? Like, we've seen Angoromon and Gamamon and them attack normal without using, like, a special named attack, but that's usually just, like, Angoromon punched something, I think a Weedmon last episode, and then last episode Gamamon was also basically attacking things with his horns, but those weren't named attacks, right? Whereas Gulus Gamamon just uses a named attack, even though Hero didn't call it out. So I'm wondering what the connection there is. Like, is it like a power boost? What is it? And I hope that gets addressed at some point. But yeah, this was just a great episode. I'm hoping we get some good fallout, right? Like, Bokomon, we've been setting him up. Here he is. Every episode, since he was introduced, he's just been a part of, like, he's the most recurring side character in this show, besides maybe Hero's friend, who's always getting caught up in this stuff. And I want to see how we deal with that, and like if we deal with it at all. Like we have to, right? So yeah, great episode. Best in the series. We've got it. We finally get the reveal of this shadow that's been inside Gamamon this whole time, and it's left me with more questions, but not in a bad way, right? I really want to see more of him. I really want to know what's going on. Just a great episode that really, really makes me want to keep watching. So yeah, that's it. These episodes were good. Again, episode 13, best in the show so far. This video's long. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.